Hi guys, so last week I uploaded a new short film called Lucky the Dog, and I was really surprised at how many comments I got about how good the sound was on that. So it made me think about the journey I've had from when I first started a year ago smartphone filmmaking, struggling with sound, fixing sound, the problems I have with it, to now and getting comments like that. So I wanted to show you exactly how I got such good sound on Lucky the Dog and how you can do it yourself on your own on a low budget and with different types of microphones and the different ways you can use those microphones. Also, I've just started a Buy Me a Coffee page, which is essentially like Patreon, so if you'd like to say thank you for me making these videos and all that kind of stuff and helping you out by donating as little as $3, the link for that is in the description below, so I'd be really appreciative if you could, and it'll help me continue to make these videos. If your way of saying thank you is by watching these videos, then of course, thank you. Let's get into it and learn how to make great sound with your smartphone film on a low budget on your own. Tip number 1 is use your close-up audio to cover your wide shots. Now let's take a look at the wide shots when I had the microphone far away on the rig itself.
Yes, you did. No, I said it's definitely there, full stop. Shih Tzu, full stop. I need one by 3.
Not good at all. Now let's have a look at how it covers from the close-ups to the wide. You said you wanted one dead Shih Tzu by 3 PM.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I said it's definitely dead, full stop. Shih Tzu, full stop. Need one by 3 PM this afternoon.
It works so much better, and it's a really easy fix for that audio that's not working from a wide or if you're filming on your own. Now with this shot, normally you use Foley sounds, but I actually just used the audio from a different take of me walking. So you can hear the crunch of the footsteps, things like that. And that's the first take of what I initially did. And then I actually used the audio from that first walk, because I tried it again to see if I could get it in a different sound. But the first one's what I used to dub over into the reflective surface shot. Tip number 2, adjust audio levels in post. Now to do that, what you have to do is go into your post-production software. For me it's DaVinci Resolve, the free version. And if I play it, it sounded a little bit too loud for me. So what I did is I adjusted the levels, I brought it down slightly, which you can do in iMovie as well, I believe. Bring that, play it, and it just sounds right for the film. So play around with your audio levels in post. Next up is Foley sound. Bags, pigeons, bags, all these things. I actually recorded there live with the microphone because I was so close, but you will have to record these perhaps after you film if you need to get clear sound. So at the beginning of the shot I had Andre looking down at the dog, and it was almost a point of view of the dog if it was still alive looking up at Andre. Because they were so close to each other, and with the camera as well, I had the microphone about a foot away from Andre who was acting in this. So I was using the Rode Wireless Go, which I used for the whole film. I could easily have used a shotgun microphone, but I just wanted to keep it consistent with the sound. It probably still would have worked, but I just wanted to try that and see how it went, and it went really well. With actors, before you do a take, if you know that there's going to be a loud part, say they're shouting like, "Mom, where's the meatloaf?" or something like that, then you're going to have to check that before you hit record. So let's say there is that shouty part in it. You just say to the actor, look, can I hear that louder part in the speech or in the dialogue, just for audio so I can adjust that. Then they're going to say their bit, "Mom, where's the meatloaf?" If it's too loud, you can bring that audio bar, if it's Filmic Pro for example, touch that bar, bring it right down to maybe the middle almost if you know it's going to be loud. And then in post-production, you can section off audio. I think you can do this in iMovie as well. Section off audio. The part that's quieter now, you can raise that up slightly, and the bit that's really loud and shouty won't be peaking, so that will sound perfect. So just be aware of those things when the actor is talking very close to a microphone. So what about ADR? Automatic Dialogue Replacement. Now automatic dialogue replacement is when you're re-recording lines after you filmed with the original actor or someone else, so you can fix lines and dialogue as well to get better sound. Now if you don't have a studio, one thing people do is go into a closed closet and record audio there after the fact. That way you can have nice softness around you, so you're not going to get any ripples, echoes of sound, get nice good sound there. Alternatively, you could do what I do, which is use cushions and bedding. Now this might look absolutely mental, but this is how I do my ADR and voiceover work a lot of the time. So I'll put a microphone, whether it's the Rode Wireless Go in here, or a shotgun mic attached to my phone. I'll then have it about here, keep a little bit of distance to it, tuck the phone right towards the back so that the audio is all going towards that and being softened by the cushions around it. So now I'm going to show you audibly how it sounds different having the microphone in the booth to just doing it here in an open room, recording your ADR. So if I take the microphone, the Rode Wireless Go off of the rig here, and then I'll start talking in the booth so you can hear the sound difference when I come in here and do the ADR. So as you can hear, it's quite different. And when you do ADR, you want it to be nice and clean. That way, when you overlay into a scene, you're not getting any background sounds, anything like that. And you're not going to have any tinny, echoey things to worry about. So nice, clean, easy audio can be made in your booth at home. One of the trickiest aspects of getting great audio on a low-budget smartphone film is when you're in a location that's quite tinny or quite echoey. Now, in Lucky the Dog, I had a scene where Andre was walking from the back of this corridor to the front with a stool. Initially, it was too tinny and echoey. We got wooden doors, we got really thin walls, and if I show you, wooden floor. So every single aspect of this room really isn't geared for great audio. So what we did is this. Now, with the audio being bad and the floors being wooden, I knew I had to dampen that sound on the floor, so I used bed sheets, laid it across the floor. So not only was the sound of his footsteps not going to echo or anything like that, but also the words he was saying, the dialogue he was saying, got soaked up by the bed sheets on the floor. So that's one aspect of how to get rid of the echo sound in a room that's empty. Tip number 2, put a top or something on a radiator, something that would look like it's in the scene as well. So that way it looks part of the scene, but also you're putting it there to soak up more sound. Inadvertently as well, because of lighting, I had this door at the back open, I had this door here open, and because those doors were open, that sound wasn't bouncing straight off of those doors, meaning that sound kind of traveled a little bit further, so you weren't getting that reverb right back from it. Also, the doors behind the camera I had open so I could fit in, that also soaked up a little bit of sound as well, me just being there. And the door next to it, I had a towel over it as well, which I'll show you. So that way, well, I mean, you know what a towel looks like. See, I didn't trust you to not know what a towel is. Now, this towel is draped over the door. If it's out of sight, you can cover in literally anything that's going to soak up the sound. This is a really good and free, cheap, easy technique to soak up sound from behind you as well. As long as the audience aren't seeing it and your camera isn't seeing it, it really doesn't matter what you're covering up. Another aspect that might help you is if they got shoes that are tapping quite loud on the floor, perhaps they're smart shoes, then you might want to take those shoes off if they're not in shot. That way you're going to get rid of that kind of harsh tapping sound that's going to echo a little bit in an empty room. And then on the Ys, you can then refilm those bits so you can see them with the shoes as well. It might feel a bit weird for the actor, but it's going to help you a lot with audio. Now, normally if you're using external recorders for your sound, or you have someone who's actually a high person with a boom mic, then you have to clap to sync your sound. So in post-production, you can bring that audio and the video clips right into sync together. But when you're doing smartphone filmmaking with things like Rode Wireless Go, or a shotgun mic, something like that, that's plugged into the phone, then Filmic Pro already have the audio linked in with your videos synced up together anyway. So me personally, I don't clap at the beginning of takes because the audio is already synced to the video, but that is something you may want to do if you find that helpful as well, even though it's already synced. Now let's take a look at the different types of smartphone microphones you can use for sound and the uses for them. Let's talk about lavalier microphones. This one I'm wearing now is the Boya BY M-1 lavalier mic. It's got a 5-meter wire, and that makes it really handy for when you're in really tricky spots to get good sound. So if you're in a really tight room and you're behind the person, they're facing away from you at a desk or something, you can have that wire trailing along the ground, up through the actor's legs and up on the desk. And you can make sure you get really great sound and intimate sound where you just don't think it'd be possible, and you certainly couldn't get that with a shotgun microphone when the camera's about 2 meters behind someone. You can do this as well if someone's facing, windows looking outside in a nice open scene, and they're maybe giving some really important dialogue away from a character. Then you can get that lav mic, tape it to the door frame, have that actor in front of that door frame so it's non-visible to the camera and the audience. And again, you'll be able to get really amazing audio. So make the most of a lavalier microphone if that's what you have, or if it's the only one you have, by strategically placing that in scene so you can still get great audio and hide it behind perhaps props and set that the audience just will never know about, and you'll get great audio and no one will ever know that you're on a low budget. So let's take a look at shotgun microphones. Now right now I'm using the Rode Video Mic Meet L. That's a shotgun mic that plugs straight into your lightning port of the phone. Now the great thing about these is that they're single direction microphones. So if you're in front of it, it's great for vlogging and all that kind of stuff for YouTube, like this is what I'm doing now. But when you're doing movies and you want to film an actor, if there's any kind of movement, you have to be really aware of where they're moving to and from. So you might want to block that with your actors so you know exactly where you're going to be bringing the camera and the microphone to. In my short film Whistleblower, this is exactly the system that I used with the mic plugged into the phone, and that way I was able to get great sound. And even when he was moving, because he was shouting, he's always giving me really good sound, and I got great sound the whole way through that film, despite there being lots and lots of movement. And as I said, you do have to be careful. If you've got a lot of movement, if someone's like leaning down, the sound's going to get a bit lost because you're going further down. If you're turning to that way, you're going to lose some of the sound. So make sure that mic is pointed right to where the noise and the dialogue is coming from, so you're picking that up really well. The Rode Wireless Go, it is an amazing microphone. Shotguns are great, wireless lavs are great if they're plugged into the phone, you've got them close enough to the actor or the person. But a Wireless Go gives you so much adaptability and flexibility to different situations that you're filming in. It's well worth the money. I think it's on Amazon for about 140 at the moment, so it's well worth checking out. I'll put a link in the description as well below. What's great about this mic too is that it works up to 100 feet plus. So if I walk further and further away, unlike a shotgun mic where I start to go out of sound completely, this will continue to give me really, really great sound. Walking across, you can have someone walking to camera and away from camera like I am now. You can get tracking shots. It is useful for so many different things, and you can place it in different areas of a location or a set as well, so you can get great sound where it seems like maybe you couldn't. But as I said, if you turn around, there's something blocking it, like now, the sound may go a bit intermittent and a bit funny. Then as you come back around, the sound will go back to normal. So make sure that if you're getting sound with a Wireless Go, that there's nothing blocking between you or the subject and the receiver that you've got by your phone. Bonus tip for you guys when getting good sound is always listen for things that are external to your scene. So if you've got planes flying past, vehicles going past, people screaming, shouting in the distance, because even though it might not seem like it's that big a deal at the time, even if the plane is quite far away, trust me, with this short film, Lucky the Dog, I had to get rid of a couple of takes just because a plane was going past. I thought it was in the distance enough, and it wasn't. It ruined the take. Now I have a question of the week for you guys. What ways and techniques have you used to get amazing audio on your short films that maybe I haven't mentioned here that is really interesting and would help other people? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.